We but mirror the world.
All the tendencies present in the outer world
are to be found within us.
If we change ourselves,
the tendencies in the world
will also change.
This paraphrased quote from Mahatma Gandhi is the basis of the program you are about to hear. I'm Daedalian, and this is Shining Stars, a program dedicated to searching out and bringing attention to individuals and organizations that are fostering positive change within our community and within our world.
The image of a young kid standing on a street corner, holding up a newspaper and calling out, "Extra, extra, read all about it." Well, it's become an iconic image in the classic movies and musicals. In that tradition, every year in December, you will see the same type of scene in Lansing, but with a greater cause in mind than just giving the latest news headlines. Joining me in the studio today is Corr. She has been involved with the Lansing Old Newsboys since 2009 and served as the board president in 2017 and 2018. She now serves as a past president and continues to help organize activities surrounding Sales Day. Claire calls Lansing her home and currently works for the Michigan Association of Broadcasters. But as I mentioned, she is here representing the Old Newsboys today. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks so much for having me today.
It is great to have you here. Now, Old Newsboys, we were actually talking a little bit about it ahead of time, and I remember this as a kid. You know, standing or walking along a street somewhere, and I'd see somebody, you know, holding up one of these, and I didn't really understand what it was. I don't know that everybody really does even to this day. So go ahead and expound on the mission, the goal, the objective of Old Newsboys and what it is.
Well, the mission of the Lansing Old Newsboys is to raise money to provide shoes and boots for school-aged children. And we operate within Lansing and all school districts within a 25-mile radius of Lansing. We have expanded our assistance to homeschool children, parochial schools, private schools, and agencies. For instance, the VFW Home for Children in Eaton Rapids and Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
Okay.
Anybody through Community Mental Health, if we get a phone call that they need some shoes, we'll help them as well. If there's a preschool age child in the home where their sibling is getting help from us, we will help that preschool child as well. So we'll help all of the children in the family. We also help families of any age if they've experienced flood, fire, tornado, any act of God.
It was my grandpa that ended up buying the very first edition of one of these that I've ever seen. So explain exactly what it is, the publication itself.
Oh, right. This is the fun part. So we partner with the Lansing State Journal, and we create the Lansing Spoof Journal. And this is completely 100% satire. It's like The Onion.
Yes.
So we did a tagline in 2016, if anybody recalls that election cycle. Remember the fake news? So we added our tagline saying we are the original fake news because we started this really back in 1910.
Right.
We joined with the Old Newsboys organization in 1924. Anyway, we create the Lansing Spoof Journal, and it's a lot of fun. And really, a lot of the famous people around Lansing think it's an honor to be on the front page or have a fun article written about them. So really, it's just making fun of everything that's going on in our communities, whether it be in Lansing, Grand Ledge, Mason, Holt, DeWitt, St. John's. We just really poke a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun. And we hope that our readers are entertained, you know, and they're giving us their money. So, you know, it's going for a good cause, but let's give them some entertainment for that good cause.
Right. Now, you started in a little bit there on the backstory. Do you know the origins of how this all came together?
Oh, my goodness. Yes, this is a beautiful story. So in 1910, a truancy officer with the Lansing Police Department by the name of George Palmer would knock on the doors of students that weren't in school. He thought, well, they're just playing hooky or they don't want to go to school. When he found out that the reason that they weren't attending school was because they didn't have the proper footwear, he began paying for the footwear out of his own pocket. Interestingly enough, Meta Olds, the wife of Ari Olds, found out about George Palmer and said, I'm going to help. I'm going to give you your first $50 donation, and I am going to be your first board president. So
Awesome.
she joined with George Palmer. She got all of her socialites to join with her. And they created the Palmer Shoe Fund.
Okay.
And they operated from 1910 to 1924 when they retired. And that's when the organization joined with the Old Newsboys Association.
Very good. Okay, we've been talking about Lansing Old Newsboys. Now, do you know, is there other Old Newsboy type networks across the nation then?
So yes, there are other Old Newsboys associations around the country. There are two other in Michigan, one in Flint and one in Detroit. Those organizations raise money to provide Christmas gifts for children. But we stuck with our mission of providing shoes and boots for children under the Palmer Shoe Fund.
Very good. So are the people that contribute the stories, are they generally journalists themselves?
So back in the day, we had a slew of journalists, that would sign up to write an article for the Lansing Spoof Journal. That has since dwindled. So we really try and solicit for volunteers. Hey, if you have a funny story, if you got a little humor in you, write a story for us and we'll get it published. So, it's a volunteer basis mostly now.
And pretty much everybody's a volunteer at the organization. Am I correct in that?
100% of us
And
are volunteers.
how did you end up getting involved then?
That's a story as well. So I used to work
Aren't they all?
They are a story. Yes, they are. So I used to work at Blue Cross Blue Shield, and we were represented by the United Auto Workers, and I was a UAW representative. And at the time, the Old Newsboys Board of Directors had a few members that were part of the union, whether it be the UAW or another union organization in Lansing. And they needed somebody to fill a union seat. And I was asked to join, and I said, okay, I loved giving back. So what else can I do? So I said yes. And I joined, and my first day was the end of November. It was our kickoff dinner where we, gather all of our volunteers. We feed them bean soup and hot dogs because that's the tradition.
Okay.
That's what they did back in the day. And, we rah-rah them to go out and sell the spoof journals.
Get out there.
Yeah. Okay. So, I really, I joined. I was overwhelmed. Wasn't quite sure what I had gotten myself into. And then after sales day, we kind of have a lull where we kind of debrief, what worked, what didn't, and what can we do. And then come fall, we geared back up for the next sales day. And after I had gone through a cycle, I realized, wow, this is pretty neat. And all of my memories came back too of seeing, the adults on the street corners, hawking the spoof journal for the Old Newsboys. Get your Old Newsboys. Get your Lansing Spoof Journal. Any donation. Any donation.
Very good. So you've been with the organization for a little over 10 years now. You've had to have seen some sort of moment or at least had a moment where you went, wow, I am so glad I'm a part of this organization. Is there a story anywhere that you've got where you realized how much of a difference this was making?
Serving on the board, some of our board members, some of our mature board members that have been around for a while, they've been helped. And that's why they decided to join the board and give back. So listening to their stories is always very heartwarming. But what always sticks in my mind is we participate in Silver Bells and a few of the other community holiday parades this time of year. And we ride the float and we holler, get your Old Newsboys, get your Old Newsboys, shoes and boots for kids. And when we see the families and the children lining up to watch the parade and their eyes light up when they see our float and the kids jump up and down and point to the shoes saying, I've got my Old Newsboys on.
Yeah.
And the parents look at us with this look of just just
gratitude.
That gratitude. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. But just with that look in their eyes and saying, thank you. That makes it worthwhile, especially standing out in December in the cold. Half the time it's the first snowfall or snowstorm of the season. And those parades can get pretty chilly too. But just think about not having shoes or boots and being out in those elements.
Right. And, when we're talking about events, of course, you get Old Newsboy will do the parades, but there's always one day of the year that it's called Sales Day that you guys head out there. Now, unfortunately, you and I weren't able to connect ahead of time. So that actually happened December 1st. Am I right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. But that doesn't mean that the need isn't still there beyond that one day. So what do people do beyond that one day if they wanted to contribute, to donate, offer any sort of monetary donation?
That's a wonderful question. A lot of people think because our sales day is always the first Thursday in December, that that's the only time that they can give. But we give our vouchers to our children 365 days a year. It's
Right.
not just the beginning of the school year. It's not just in December.
Yeah.
They can apply for a voucher in March. So we do solicit and ask for donations year round. So we do have a couple of different ways that you can donate. You can text shoes to 517-208-2788, or you can visit our website at lansingoldnewsboys.com. And there's a link on there, the first homepage right there. There's a link to donate as well.
Very good. And I will have that information in the show notes for this podcast as well. That, of course, will be available at lccconnect.org. So as the years go by, the Old Newsboys looks back and they want to go, are we really making a difference? How do you measure success in your organization?
Well, the great thing is we work with all of the area schools in our service area, and we keep track of how many vouchers come through. So typically what happens is if a child has a need, the parent will fill out an application through the school. It's an Old Newsboys application, and all it is the name and address of the parent or guardian, the child's name, age, and what school he or she attends. We don't ask any financial questions. If the child is eligible for the free or reduced lunch program, the child is automatically eligible to get that certificate from us.
Very good.
So we do keep track of how many vouchers, or how many applications, I should say, come in from each school. So we do keep a tally, and we really gauge our outreach by the number of kids that we serve each year. So we serve on average about 7,000 kids a year.
That's quite a bit.
It
in
is,
this
really.
area. Yeah, definitely.
And we have more to give. We
And-
do have more to give.
And
so
the point I was going to make was, it's like obviously December is the right time to do this because that's when a kid needs shoes more than any.
Right.
But you still need shoes in the summertime.
You do.
Most
What
of
if
the time.
so-
Although I think I ran around barefoot most of the time.
Did
When I-
you remember that? That was great.
Those were the good old days. So obviously volunteers are very important to what you do. Tell me a little bit about the importance of coworkers and volunteers in trying to accomplish your goals in this case.
So we have a board of about 20. And then within that board, we ask all of our board members to grab their friends, grab their family, grab whoever you can, grab your coworkers, and let's go out and sell some papers and let's make some money to provide these shoes and boots for the kids. So on average, we have about 500 volunteers for our sales day effort. So, I mean, if
That's
we
quite a
couldn't do it
bit.
without them. And the crazy thing is so many times we don't know these volunteers because it's a board member or a family member of a board member grabbing a friend. It's a friend of a friend of a friend, so we don't know half of these people that are just out there selling out of the goodness of their heart. They're standing out there in the cold and they're hawking that spoof journal, and we don't see them. So those are the people that we really appreciate too. I mean, we appreciate everyone, of course.
Sure.
But we appreciate those folks who just do it because it's the right thing to do.
Very good. So what do you find to be the most rewarding part about all this?
There's just a sense of community. And the one thing that I love about Lansing is we are the state capital, but we really have that hometown feel. I think there's about a 3 degree of separation from, somebody and somebody, right? But just knowing that you're making a difference for these kids, they're innocent and, knowing that they can go to school and that they're going to continue on their health journey, because without proper footwear, your health declines as well. Knowing that you're making that difference and you're helping the families. We offer a $50 gift certificate to Meyer or Shoe Carnival. So you think about that, even if it's a one-child family, that's $50 that, mom and dad or the guardian could spend on groceries or the heat bill or medication or whatever it may be. So if we just provide a little bit of effort, that little bit of effort goes a really long way.
Very good. We found out, like, as we were talking early on, and we were just talking about 3 degrees of separation. I mean, both of us are MSU and LCC alums.
Yes.
And I was happy to find out you had, it's kind of off topic here, but it was just interesting that you had such a good experience here at Lansing Community College. Tell me a little bit about it.
Oh my goodness. I loved my time at Lansing Community College. So I graduated from Grand Ledge High School in 1985 and I came to LCC. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for college. I didn't know what I wanted to do when I grew up. Sometimes I still don't know what I want to do, but I'm trying. Right?
I know, I get it.
Anyway, so, I quit going to school. And, I don't know, 20 years later, I decided, you know what, Claire, you better go and get your degree. You have some college under your belt. Why don't you just finish it?
Now you said you went to MSU first, right?
Siena.
Oh, okay. You went to Siena?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Siena. I wish I would. Well,
We'll see.
I shouldn't say that. I love my MSU. I bleed green, but I love Siena.
I started off at MSU and then turned around and did it backwards because most people go to LCC first and then they go to MSU. But I came to LCC afterwards, so I don't know.
That's a little different.
Yeah, well,
it's all right.
It was me. Actually, it was me trying to figure out what I wanted to do when I grow up, and still working on that. But yeah.
Yeah, me too. But LCC really helped. I talked to quite a few universities. Mm-hmm. A lot of them offer, online programming, so I could go to school in the comfort of my home. But there's something about being around your peers and having that interaction. So LCC was very appealing. I could bring in my credits because back then it was the term, not the semester. Yep. So we had to do a little finagling with the credits that I did have. But then Siena Heights University offered a wonderful program, and that was through the University Center at LCC. And I could come down to campus. I could be a part of campus life. I didn't have it in 1985, but I had it when I was 40. And, I could work and I could take my classes. I did a few online, and within 7 years, I had my bachelor's.
Very good. Very good. I'm glad to hear you had a positive experience here at LCC. And I am absolutely in awe that you folks are doing what you're doing at Lansing Old Newsboy and appreciate everything that you do there, and that you're still a part of it. I do have one more question.
Yes.
More question for you. I just wanted to say thank you for doing that, and I also wanted to reestablish that website one more time.
Sure. So our website is lansingoldnewsboys.com, or you could text shoes to 517-208-2788.
There it is. All right. So final question, and this is one I ask of all my Shining Star guests. If you had the ability to snap your fingers and put one thought into the collective consciousness of the entire human race at the same time, and you do kind of have that moment here because it's being broadcast, what would that thought be?
Sometimes I think it's overkill, but it just comes down to kindness. Be kind.
Be kind?
Be kind. Be considerate of others.
Yeah.
Get out of your head. It's not all about you. It's about the collective community.
Yeah. So do unto others as they would do unto you.
There you go. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Well, I always hope that a snap of the finger will make it happen. So go ahead and snap those fingers.
Remember,
we can all contribute something good to this world.
No matter how big
or how small.
A simple smile
or a friendly gesture
is all it takes
to expand positivity
1 inch further.
Thanks so much for listening to Shining Stars and, of course, sharing your time with me today. I'm Daedalian, and you can listen to this episode of Shining Stars on demand, along with other LCC Connect programs at lccconnect.org.